Good morning, everyone.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to FYI.
Welcome.
For your information, I am Jarrett Finance alongside Sharon Duncan. As always in the morning, it's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, it is.
It's Thursday, the 19th of May of
Already,
2026. And Sharon
already.
have been speaking about the fact that the day
Yeah.
is going by so
Yep,
quickly,
yep, yep, yep.
and we have so much
11
going
days
on
out.
right now.
11 days out from month end. Already.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's quite
Yeah.
something.
Folks, got to pick up the
Then
kids.
it's June, and I'm all excited about June. I have a whole lot
Yeah,
of stuff
yeah,
to do
yeah.
in June.
Let us know how you guys are receiving the audio. You know, you are our external text. You are what they call monitoring and evaluation.
That
Yep.
is so true. That
Monitoring
is
and
so true.
evaluation. Very important, very important. Yep, yep, yep. Quality control as well.
Quality control
Yeah.
in the comment section.
Yes.
Okay.
Let us know how you guys are receiving. Good to see John Jones and good to see Isabella Butters. Isabella, how are you doing? Hope all is great. Marilyn King, good to see you as well. And Vanessa Thomas. Margaret Nelson. Margaret, how are you doing? How is New Jersey?
I see. Is it Vanessa Thomas? It's from Linden, or does not
Yes,
say
yes.
Vanessa Thomas?
It could be. I think it's the
I'm
same
not
Vanessa
sure.
Thomas. Vanessa from the Independent Republic.
I'm not sure.
The Democratic
guys, let us know where
Republic.
you're joining from this morning. So it's important.
Please
for us
and
to
thank
know
you.
where
Give you
you're
guys a
joining
proper
from.
shout out.
So I see.
Give you guys a proper shout out.
Poor People Governor is joining this morning. Says good morning, FYI. Good morning to you.
How are you doing, Chief? How is Canada? How is Canada doing? Let us know. Let us know how Canada is. Good to have you, my brother. Mr. Allen himself, Poor People Governor.
You don't play. You know everybody business like that. Name
K.
very
Allen,
well.
good to see you, sir. Gavin Brung is here too.
Gavin Brung is
Yep.
So this morning. Don Cook, hey Don, how are you? Candace, my friend Candace is
Candace,
on
how
this
is
morning.
Brooklyn? How is Brooklyn doing? How is your part of the city? Of the
I'm
borough?
seeing the time and it's either she's on her way to work or she's already at work.
And you say I know your business. You say I know your business. You don't waste the time. Which Uber cab she might be in, the driver name, the license plate.
She's gonna be driving herself.
You see that? You drive with yourself.
Willis Felix is on this morning also.
Yeah.
Diane Ford dies. I see Joy Phillips and Candace needs to say hi to Quinn for us. I hope
yes, please do. Please say hi to Quinn for us.
Marlon King is saying joining from New Amsterdam. It's a bright day in New Amsterdam. Top of the morning, MPs.
Awesome.
Maxine.
Thanks, Maxine. Hello, quality control this morning. Hello, quality control.
Candace says I'm in Flushing, Queens. It's wet. So, there you have it for the
well, Flushing does everything. It's wet in Flushing, Queens. Good.
So, Margaret Nelson's asking what's in a cup this morning, Jaretta and Sharon. Yes, I know it's
I having some coffee with cream.
I didn't do much.
Powdered milk, cream.
It's cream.
It's creamer.
No, actually, that's milk.
Yeah.
But strange enough, we need to actually use.
Yeah, we have creamer here, but we still think we never use them.
We different. I'm having literal this tea bag. That's what it is. Just as you see it.
Drinking tea getting better every day.
Actually,
practice.
And this is like literally, I'm having no milk, no sugar, anything. I don't know. Like I've been feeling.
That's the man's special. That's the man's special. You're all different. You see, birds of identical plumage assemble together in close proximity.
Only Sharon says it's like that. Where did you get that? Where did you get that from?
Somewhere.
Did you make that up?
Somewhere. No. I started somewhere. Okay. Along the years, somewhere. Yep. Good to see all of you guys. Beatrice is here.
I know why you're drinking all the baby milk powder.
Yep. Beatrice says she loves the blue and black. See that?
Thank you, Beatrice.
Yep.
I try to call it every now and again. Last time I wore this dress, the comment section was not interested in what we were saying.
Margaret, we gotta do what we gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yep. It's a bright blue. Bring up the whole set. We love it.
Whiskey session up this morning. Whiskey session always up.
And ready to go. Petal Tour is here as well. Petal, good to have you here.
I'm missing some of my
the usual suspects.
I'm missing some.
Some of the usual suspects. We didn't see Spice Man as yet.
Yes.
Who else missing, folks? Y'all know who missing?
Somebody.
Sabitrizal is here. Mark Ferrer is here. I'm not seeing Long Island. You are folks from Long Island. Where y'all at?
Warren
right? We're not seeing the folks out of France. Out of Zambia. Where's Zambia this morning? Good to have all of you. You see, we get accustomed to all of you. Lennox Amsterdam, we see you here though. And Osman Hodge, We see you as well. Is it Eagleton?
And I see Tessa
Eastman. Tessa here, as always. Tessa Isaacs, Zandy, that is. Good to have you, Tessa and Keith. Dowdy.
Isabella Butters, I see.
Yeah, of course, Cherry Baskin, Greenwich, watching us from Barbados. You know, good to have you, Cherry.
I know someone's joining from Orlando. I missed
Orlando is always in the house. And Atlanta, where we Atlanta folks at?
Keith Dowling, I see you.
Where we Atlanta. And again, let me stress, because we had the privilege of meeting one of our viewers and ardent viewers and fans and supporters, Lynn Fernandez, yesterday. And Lynn says, y'all don't shout out the people in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn. Good morning, Brooklyn.
Everyone from Brooklyn, good morning.
Yeah, the whole of Brooklyn, right? The whole of Brooklyn. Whoever's the head of the borough or whatever everybody.
Head of the game is Brooklyn.
Everybody.
Assemble yourself.
Right. Queens, go feel left. So Queens, shout out to you guys. Shakira Phillips, good morning. Hazel Johnson, all you other beautiful, fantastic guys. Look at you, man. Sonia Massey Carbon. Is it Adolph Christian? Roxanne Aaron? Aaron?
Yes, I see Roxanne Aaron on this. I see Jason Mingo. Hey Jason, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing Ariel is joining us.
John Jones as well.
Georgia this morning.
Oh yes.
Patsy Johnson from
Fields
of Fire.
Yeah.
Cecile Ogle joining us, watching and listening from Festival City.
Yep.
And Sharon, you were talking about the library there. Was it Festival City?
Yes, Festival City Library.
Spiceman come true.
Spiceman is here, please and thank you. Not to be left out at all. Not to be left out at all. Not to be left out at all.
I see Shakira Phillips and she is right. And we see Tommy Gibbs here this morning. You know, there's some persons that come in comments. I've been looking for them, like it asks, ask these little disruptive questions.
Yeah, but we're happy that Jaylene Thompson is here and Hazel Johnson and all the other folks, Christina Tom Peters.
I promised myself, and I said yesterday, guys, I said that I was going to go through the comments and see if I missed any questions or so. And I was scrolling through the comments after the show. I noted that I think there's one guy, like he had an issue. He didn't like me using the word peoples instead of people. Right?
Okay. Don't let it stop me from getting that information though. Right? Izetta, we see you there.
I was disturbed by it.
And the sun rose today, believe it or not. The sun still rose today. Basil Clark, Alexis Williams. I see Marilyn Thomas, Wills Felix. Good to see you. Margaret Morris. Of course, Orwin Don Cook right over in Region 3. How are you doing, Orwin? Good to have you here. Soon as you bankrupt, it's right by the side street, by the four corner.
Just tell us something there.
Yep. Glenford Garden, good to see you as well. And all the other guys. Osmond Simpson.
Persons are coming through from Brooklyn this morning. I see Basil Clark. I see, is it Team Okra?
Brooklyn representing.
It's Team Okra, that's the name.
Brooklyn representing this morning.
Ingrid King.
Not to be left out by any means.
Courtney McGurden Grimman, I see you this morning. Holly Daniels. Hey, there is Warren Figueroa.
Long Island is in the house, guys. Long Island is in the house. Step back, please, and thank you. Long Island is here.
Derek Smith, I'm noting a comment from Derek Smith. Hey, Derek, how are you? Where are you joining us from this morning? Make sure that you do your part in sharing. I see Roger Norris is on this morning as well. Good morning.
Roger from Brooklyn, right?
From Brooklyn.
Yeah.
No, I think Roger is not from Brooklyn.
Originally.
Yes,
right.
Roger's different.
Well, he's lying about Brooklyn.
Guyanese people.
Right, yeah. How's Long Island? How's Long Island doing? How's Brooklyn this morning? What's the weather like? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? That's very interesting to us. We want to know. How
Our
you guys
morning viewers have been delinquent on the shares,
We watch y'all. Should we talk to them?
I'm watching them.
Right? Because I'm going to look for the bell if I talk to them. It's good.
Very, very not happy.
Yeah. The shares look a little thin this morning. So she shares the emojis. Come on, guys. Hundreds of you watching us.
We know you.
Chanel Wills, come on. Right? Randy, come on. Randy's watching us from Brooklyn, New York. He says, good morning.
I know Randy. There's Bartica people. Yes, Randy.
Everybody from Bartica pocket in Brooklyn, man.
I don't know what's going on, but
Candy,
thing. Warner sends lots of rain there this morning.
Oh, wow.
So wow.
Wow. Yep.
Mokro is watching Watching, seeing, eyeing y'all. Listening, watching, seeing, eyeing y'all.
Yeah, yeah. You know, for those persons in Georgetown, in Guyana, if you're using the Harbor Bridge this morning, believe it or not, it's closing twice this morning. It closed at 4, and FYI is closing at 10 again, 10 to 11. So you might want to factor that in your transportation route. Harbor Bridge is closing twice. It's closed at 4 this morning, and then it's closing again at 10 for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Please watch that. Watch that.
That's a schedule
Yeah.
being put out
Yeah.
there. We need that camera to be placed there as well, so persons can view what's going on there.
The flow of things.
Time.
The flow of things. The flow of things.
I see Max Adams is here this morning with us also. I don't want to miss Max and Marla Joseph there this morning, and Catherine Niles. I see you, Shalon Joseph, Lily Paul. 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. Lily Paul is asking. 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. for the bridge.
10 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 a.m. it closed this morning, and then 10 a.m. again. Yeah.
That's very
10
close.
a.m.
That's very close.
Something's happening. So I think the 10 a.m., the 4 a.m. was a retraction. I think the 10 a.m. is repairs.
So poor people governance of FYI need a small bill.
Yeah. Pay some people head in the throat.
Good morning. More like an alarm clock. We probably need an alarm clock. More.
Yeah. Come on, guys. This is sheer time. This is sheer time.
This is the wake up. This is the share. That's how we have to.
There's something saying,
make sure we do that.
Yeah.
But lots going on. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Believe it or not.
We want to start in the morning papers, and I know this discussion has been started already on our affiliate programs, but we definitely need to be touching on.
We need to.
DPP.
Yep.
And so much going on.
That's the first thing. Yeah.
That's the first thing that we were looking at this morning on in the papers, and I want to say that I know that a lot of persons have messaged and called, and so stating their dissatisfaction. For me to put it very lightly.
What do you guys think about that?
For me to put it very lightly.
Yeah.
But the matter with the DPP and the fact that charges were dropped against the individual that was accused of verbally assaulting and also spitting on a female police officer, and I think the concern is even greater, the fact that no reasoning was given behind that action altogether. So this is something that persons are outraged about, rightly so, because we cannot continue, and we are seeing mountains of issues arising off of this. We're seeing several instances in which matters are going down like that. Decisions are being made without any reasoning given from that level, and I have to say that is unacceptable. I think one of our of the FYI family actually said it prior on a show when we were discussing similar matters, to say that in no countries there would have been riots if persons would have dismissed charges like that. And that wasn't specific to this case. That he was referring to the fact that the 19 fraud charges was dismissed just like that. Also, and there's so many other instances. And
it's worrying to say the least. Worrying to say the least, to see what transpired there. And we have lots of instances in the recent past. You've had the 19 fraud charges, as you rightly said. You've had the law books issue with fraud and the current Attorney General. That those charges were dismissed. You had those against Ashley Singh and Brassington relating to land on the valuing land at the state level and selling off those lands. But those charges were dismissed. Private criminal charges were brought against the current chairman of GCOM. Those were also withdrawn. What is always telling is that there is never any reasons given why those charges are being withdrawn.
That is the issue there. We cannot have a country that we're setting persons are saying that's progressive, that has this word that likes to be thrown around so much as democracy and all of these things. When matters are going forward like that, and matters at the level of the court is being dismissed so recklessly. If I dare say, I think that's the right word. So it's reckless. It's a reckless manner in which these things are happening, and persons are not happy. Everyone is dissatisfied, and it cannot be the business as usual for us to just sit back and accept it as
the Director of Public Prosecutions, Ms. Shalimar Ali Haq, must be aware. There's an interesting case in international law This is Re-Pinochet, and first year law students know this case by heart. Re-Pinochet, and one of the dictums, maxims that came out of that case is that justice must not only be done, it must appear to be done.
Yeah.
Perception is very important, especially in the law. And we say the symbol of the law is Lady Justice, being blind, holding up the scales of justice. It must not only be done, it must appear to people to be done. And the director of public prosecutions, Shalimar Ali Haq, may not set out intentionally to have things look a certain way. And individually, they will hold no significance in and of themselves. But a phrase in law says, when taken together, they paint a kind of narrative that I'm certain nobody wants in this society. Because when you look at the other side and the kinds of people who have been charged, and their charges seeming not to be withdrawn in the same fashion, the complexion of that argument looks quite different.
Perception.
Quite different. And that's why folks, Edward Jacobs and Moral Joseph, Mark DeCosta is here with us, watching us too, and Clifford Class and so forth. All you fantastic folks. God says, justice must not only be done, it must appear to be done as well. That's important.
We have gone through quite a bit of on that when we spoke about the actions when we had that visiting team here in Guyana for that legal activity quite recently. We spoke about that and the appearance of bias and all of those things. And persons need not just sweep those things aside. I think we are, as a society, persons are getting immune to something. And that is a fear that I have. Persons cannot get to a point that you believe that, oh, well, these are the people, this is how they're doing things, So it's as though it's accepted. You're expecting it. So when it happens, it's like, oh, you say it's nonsense and you condemn it and all of that with the words, but then there's no action to follow up to say, well, this is not acceptable, and we need to put a full stop to it before it gets more out of control, before more extremes we see in these regard.
You talk about bias there, and I'm seeing that case from days when I read law. I'm seeing that case, and we got some sharp law students watching us. Let us know what's the case, because again, the jurisprudence, legal jurisprudence says that it's not whether there's actual bias. Again, it's the perception. It's the appearance of bias. It's what would the man outside think? Looking at this thing, right? What would the man, the reasonable man, what would the reasonable man outside do? The average citizen. What would they think looking at this thing? Right?
Without any knowledge of what is
the internal system. That's what we got to shun the appearance, the very appearance of it, and things look a certain way. And that narrative is building. Every time you see charges dismissed, charges withdrawn, charges withdrawn, no reasons given, charges withdrawn, no reasons given, charges withdrawn, no reasons given, Marilyn Thomas. The thing look a certain way. Roxanne Andrews, it look a certain way. Sherman Roberts, Pinky Kerr, it looks a certain way.
And that's what we're talking about. And I'm trying to pull up this specific piece of documentation. I may not be able to pull it up right now. It basically quotes when they talk about the appearance of bias and actually looking at the ordinary man, the common man, and how they are going to perceive things based on what is presented to them without having all the facts and all of those things. And
you know who's the ordinary man? Suzette Washington, Courtney Gordon Grimman, Philippa Pearson, Andrew Cuthbert, Joycelyn Prince, Kingston, and Gladstone Matthews. You guys are the ordinary man. When you look at it, what do you see? Right? Charges, Christopher Jones, Assistant Chief Whip, he's been charged 2 years on. We didn't see that going no place. Right? Them cases are going to end. Valda and Lauren, she's been charged. The case actually ain't going to end. David Patterson has been charged. Winston Jordan, yours truly have been charged. The last guy who headed NASIL, Mr. Heath London, he's been charged. 2 years on, a lot of people have been charged in electoral related issues. Whether it's our colleague from Region 5, Smith, Carol Joseph has been charged. Mingo has been charged. You got Lowenfield, Hetzberger, you name it, have been charged. Trump, these guys swear to God, rigging, the allegation, the last election, that those of us who sit in the parliamentary opposition somehow were involved in rigging, right? But 2 years and one case can't show an ounce of evidence. And that's why I always say, with all the rigging that take place, how come the chairman of the Ghana Elections Commission, she's the only angel? Left, right, and center, top and bottom, rigging at GCOM. But the chairman didn't see, she didn't know, she didn't bet, she didn't go.
But I want to pull up on this specific piece, but as it was first stated in the Committee for Justice and Liberty versus Canada's National Energy Board. Anyway, it says the apprehension of bias must be a reasonable one, held by a reasonable and right-minded person, applying themselves to the question and obtaining thereon the required information. They said the test is, what would an informed person viewing the matter realistically and practically and having thought the matter through conclude?
Yeah. Look at reasonable people watching us.
So
Paula Devonish.
And that is the piece that
Dance for Jeffrey. When y'all look at the thing,
looking at
charges dismissed yesterday against attorney Nirvan Singh. And it could have been any other attorney, it could be any other figure. It didn't have to be Nirvan Singh. Unfortunately, it is Nirvan Singh. The former Chancellor of the Judiciary, Carl Singh's son.
Persons would remember, I want to make this point, like, whenever we're looking at matters as this, sometimes I always say that let us look at the matter, let us look to the matter at hand. And stop thinking about who it is for a little bit and say, this is the issue. And it's not acceptable.
And as a matter,
regardless of who
as a matter of full disclosure, Mr. Nirvan Singh is a colleague of mine, in the sense that we did law, we read law at the same time, we were in the same class. We read law together, we were in the same class. But the issue is the issue, don't we make something? The issue is the issue. Right? That's why I said it could have been anybody else. It's unfortunate it is him, and his charges were withdrawn by the DPP.
Without reason.
Right? Without any reasons given.
Yes, without reason given.
Without any reasons given.
Whatever the reason was,
but that's the issue. That's the issue going, folks. We see you, Jiva Conway, and Commissioner Cole, we see you as well, and Sharon Alfonso, Evans, and Raymond Jones. We see you guys. Make the share look nice, and others get valid and incredible information. Share. Smash that emoji button for us as well. You all get a little complacent. All right, we got to bring, as our colleague said, just a small bell in this place here. Right? Fidel Albert. Good to see you, folks. Good to see you guys.
Sharon is becoming one of the most popular persons out there. I see a lot of the news is crafted around what you see in the night, June 8 to 9 o'clock.
Our humble program. These humble programs we have.
And the Prime Minister did say he looks at Al Jazeera and
we're humbled by that. We're humbled by that. We're humbled.
A lot of news is being crafted off of things that you see.
We're humbled by that.
And how it ruffles some feathers.
Yeah. So, right.
But it's very interesting that you just noted that the individual in question with the DPP's latest action, that was a colleague of yours, but yet you can still sit and be and you can be strategic in the way in which you dissect the matter and say, well, this is unacceptable, and it doesn't matter to you if it was
you see,
it's an issue.
You said something yesterday. You have to deal with some matters dispassionately.
Correct.
Right? I can't lose sleepless nights over that. I sure Mr. Singh, attorney at law, don't lose sleepless nights over the fact that I have to do what I have to do. The gentleman who is prosecuting me on behalf of the police force in the matter that I'm in currently before the court is a fella I sat next to in my law class.
Wow.
Right? But he got to do what he has to do for his masters.
Yes.
Right? That is the way the world works. And when you're doing law, you understand that the person next to you who's your friend today could be your opponent in the courtroom.
That is so true.
But you gotta get it. You have to get the work done.
But like I just taken there that I know that since we're on the morning papers, I know that you've been making headlines quite some time. A lot of times I've seen you popped up on the front page and so forth.
But I think
so
I think it's the work. I think it is a testament to the work that the team put in doing the research and then putting out the information there. And people view it however they want to view it, come up to their own conclusion. And you know what democracy is? My right to say how I feel is the other person's right. Has to stop when the other person has a right to say how they feel about what I have said too. You know, that is part of a robust democratic system. And I love that. I love that. Right? But it's when you want to do all the talking and you don't want me to respond. That's the problem that I have. You want to out there and call me names and all of that. And then when we return the favor, we get mashed up a cold step,
Because no one is listening when they're doing it.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem.
People listen when you do
But
it.
we're happy that you guys are here with us. Muriel King and Anne-Marie Roberts and Hazel Johnson. You know, it is not us so much. I always say it is you guys. It's because you guys keep showing up. You know, if we had 2 people watching us, nobody would have cared what we said. But because you guys show up all the time, it got them boys worried. So it's y'all fault. Carla Washington, Muriel King, Gladstone Matthew. It's y'all fault. I blame y'all, Edward Jacobs. Right? It's y'all giving all these problems, Pamela Dover. It's y'all. I vex with y'all.
I think it's Marlon and Leon Gerbadan is in the comment section. I'm having a fight. I feel the need to referee this a little bit. Settle down, guys. It's already the morning. It's not even 9 o'clock as yet. Come on, guys. Leon, I know you're a little disruptive in the mornings, but it's all right. Today, let us be a little more civil in the comment section. Yeah.
Y'all can go wrong with the Agri Expo and file. It might need some entertainment wrong this side. Might need some.
But we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to.
Yeah.
I see Jane Oakles and DPP says she dismissed the case according to Article 187(1)(c).
Which is what? Which means what?
Yes. Okay.
Which means what? What do I get from that?
You the law and I'm not gonna even attempt to go down that route.
Which means what? Donald Fresco, we see you. Treat you well, send the morning papers.
Well, one of the things that I'm looking at, and I want to pinpoint something else. You know, we just talked about the fact that you make the news so very often, and this morning I think you're making the news again. Nevertheless, I see GCOM backs the biometric system for voting to formally make the proposal to the Attorney General today, and I think this is something that this is good. You know, this is the first. I think this is the very first that I've heard that that you can say GCOM is backing this, and to start speaking to both the opposition commissioners and the PPP commissioners that sits at that level. And I remember quite distinctly that it was on the podcast in a conversation with Vincent Alexander that this conversation about biometric voting system came up. So I am extremely happy.
You know, we have
going in this direction.
We have a couple programs and people stop by 1 or 2 times and we have discussions and so on.
But he's absolutely. I think Vincent Alexander is like he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I think that he's been around. And he has the knowledge. He has a wealth of experience.
This is forte, you know. From a little boy, I grew up here in Vincent Alexander talking about local government systems and electoral systems, and so this has been his thing. Has been on all the time,
and
all
he's
the
been
time,
consistent on it. So he has become someone who's an expert in the area altogether. And when he spoke about this, you know, this particular system, I was very worried because as you know it, that anything that has been proposed by the members of the opposition appointed commissioners, not the members of the opposition. The opposition appointed commissioner. It's not appointed either. It's elected. I want to be very correct in my terminologies, but anything that they have put forward thus far at the level of GCOM has been shut down, voted against, and all of that. So this is quite interesting.
The historical moment.
You know, I think we need to write this book down.
Definitely so. So there's that, the biometric system that's being proposed by GCOM to the government. What else we got in the morning?
Well, I found it very interesting that the GCCI is telling the government and is cautioning the government to don't sign any MOU with Trinidad. You know, and when I saw that in the news, I was like, GCCI must have some bit of rationality to what they're saying here. But then I remember GCCI and all that have been done thus far from that body. So I don't know what
it's like they're talking to themselves, really.
No, and that's the thing, you know, because when I see this, it is difficult for me to not get to the conclusion that there are some aspect of the administration that wants to push that narrative out there. So they're going to push it through this body. So it appears to be coming from an outside body, as opposed to the administration themselves not wanting to go in the direction of signing on to any MOU.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can say.
You know, guys, our country, despite the fact that it is nascent oil and gas producer, cannot operate in a vacuum. It operates in a global village, right? It has regional neighbors. There are international laws it has to subscribe to. There are regional laws. It's part of CARICOM. It has to subscribe to. So we cannot just lock ourselves in a box and say, oh, you know, we make everything. It's only one set. We want to make the money, you know, right? But we got international obligations as well. We got international obligations, regional obligations. That's why we got CARICOM and, you know, the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas and all of that we got to comply with, even though we found immense wealth, right? You see, when it was us moving to their countries to do certain things, free movement of people, and we benefit from that, right? And it helped us. We didn't sing in this tune, but now when the thing is by we, and we pocket looking tall, it's a different story. It's a different story.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And I see PAHO is urging the persons to take stock of the rising COVID-19 numbers and act.
Yeah, that's going up. That's going up. That
is something that we definitely need to look at. I know a whole lot more persons have been hospitalized with COVID-19, and just when you thought that, and we have been saying for a very long time that the numbers are inaccurate, and because of everything that was done and all the policy measure decisions that have been made to make sure that persons are not really testing. So we have been saying all the time that the numbers that are being presented are not accurate because a lot of persons are not being tested as they were being tested prior. And I want to say that again, I say that it's very serious. I've had COVID. I think COVID I can safely say that COVID almost killed me, and it was by the awesome grace of God that I am not dead, because when I had COVID, it was just when COVID just got here, and there was nothing like a vaccine or anything, so it's just basically what you had to, whatever bush from wherever,
eat your pineapple
and whatever, you know. So I think persons need to take it very, very carefully, be very cautious of how you continue your daily life and all of that. I'm fully vaccinated. I've had the virus. I have a self-immunity to some extent also to the virus, but still with vaccination, given that fact, I'm still conscious of the fact when you go, you just don't take unnecessary risk.
Yeah. I know I'm happy with those folks who feel it's my body, my choice, and you decide not to take the vaccine. That is your right, like anything else. But like Trisha, I'm fully vaccinated, and I took the booster dose as well. I didn't take no chances.
Yeah.
You know, I took the booster dose as well. So if you have gotten all the information, you haven't had your vaccine as yet, consider doing that. You know, this thing isn't over. Yeah. It isn't over at all. As a matter of fact, we're looking at some other stuff on the international scene, and we got some other things coming out now. Well, you know, and we're coming there on the international scene. But first, you got, Donald Trump, Maverick, if there was ever one. Donald Trump has urged Dr. Oz, you know, as he's famously known, Dr. Oz, who ran there in which state is this, Adrina? Pennsylvania. He's urged Dr. Oz to declare victory, even though it's very close. Dr. Oz has a lead, but that lead has been closing. And Trump has been urging him to declare victory, but Dr. Oz seems like he's an honorable man, and he's going to wait until the last ballot is counted. I don't think he wanted to get involved in any smear kind of business. You know, I want to and folks who join us in Pennsylvania, let us know the temperature on the ground there.
When it comes to Dr. Oz, you know, Dr. Oz has been quite a TV personality and a TV doctor. My first introduction to Dr. Oz was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Oprah had this segment that she used to come in with Dr. Oz.
That's the first introduction to the world.
Yeah, and thereafter he had his own show, the Dr. Oz Show, and then surprisingly, you know, Dr. Oz running in politics, and that was quite surprising. But the issue at hand right now is the fact that the election in Pennsylvania is one that's so close, and the last bit of reporting that we're picking up coming out of the BBC is with over 95% of the votes counted, Dr. Oz lead with 31.2% of the votes compared to 31.1% for
Mhm.
his challenger. And I think that's way too close.
Yeah.
For someone
Yeah.
to go out
Yeah.
and declare victory for themselves.
So Dr. Oz look like
But
he's gonna
it's
win,
Trump.
right? Well, you know, the people that
Trump
said
is-
we have won these elections decisively. We have a mandate. The voters have spoken.
Before the last vote
Yeah. 31, 32, right? Point something.
Yes.
We have won. You know, let's just stop the counting now.
But at 95% covered, votes counted thus far, it would have been safe to call if the fact wasn't that it's only a 0.1% difference thus far.
Mhm.
So that remaining 5% may make the world look different. So it's not something that you can just
Yeah,
vote.
and then
it's
where the other votes coming in from too. They're gonna be looking at that too. Where
Mhm.
those other votes coming in
And
from?
it says that the state law says a recount must be held if a candidate margin of victory is under 0.5%. So this is very important for you to weigh this one out.
This is where you start scraping the scraping the barrel, scraping the bottom.
Make sure that
every vote though.
So very
Every vote.
interesting. I think that
Yeah.
he's waiting it out as he should.
Yeah.
And of course, Donald Trump is not advising in that direction.
Trump no able though. Trump no able. Trump no able.
Still on the scene.
Yep. But look, some other things happening internationally. Y'all think with COVID gone? COVID still here. Plus we got extras. COVID plus.
So I want to. This is something that we're picking up on a lot of the news. I think BBC, CNN had quite a few reports on this. But we're looking here, and it said monkeypox is surging around the globe, and now the rare virus has found its way inside the borders of the U.S. The first case of monkeypox in the U.S. this year was detected on Tuesday when a Massachusetts man tested positive for the virus, according to health officials. The man recently traveled to Canada, according to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC confirmed his positive test results. And I just want to note also that other news has been circulating. I know that it was CNN that actually reported that they're suspecting that the virus was brought into the US by someone traveling from Nigeria that had the virus. And also at this point in time, there are other reports that are saying that the virus is also being detected in the UK. And guys, you know that we've been talking to you about the level of connection of the world right now, the globe, and the whole aspect of globalization, and how we travel every single day, and it was so easy for COVID to spread like
one woman brought COVID here,
crazy.
March
So
2020.
this is something that we definitely need to be looking at to make sure that we are not faced with something else on top of the still existing COVID.
I mean, we are already suffering from bird flu. Zombie bird flu. Now we got monkeypox. No. You have to see enough. Let's be careful here. Yep. So that's happening as well. What else we got happening? I think we got some stuff happening regionally, right? And like us here, because we're seeing an uptick in the COVID numbers. Jamaica is also seeing that, and the Jamaica Minister of Health, Christopher Tufton, he's saying that Jamaica is now experiencing its 5th wave of COVID. I mean, we don't even know. We probably subcounting waves by now. But Tifton has said this is their 5th wave of COVID. And we here, guys, that's what we've been telling you. We're not out in the woods as yet. We got a long way to go where COVID is concerned. And I think our affiliate Credible Sources yesterday put out a piece of reporting that says, you know, they might have been a little too premature with the no mask mandate here. You could go without your mask and so on, because I see, I think the Minister of Health said recently as well, you know, if you can wear your mask, still go right ahead. I mean, what is it? What is it really? Wear it, don't wear it. Right? Very premature. That's why we have said consistently here. That being said, I still wear my mask. If he advised or not, Minister of Health, I'm wearing my mask, I social distancing. I'm also still sanitizing as well. He's still sanitizing as well.
I sanitize all over, you know. I just want to make this point that businesses have effectively taking down the sanitizing booth altogether, even at the level of the National Assembly when we were going there prior. You had to go through the booth and have it and be sanitized head to toe. Now that's non-existent anymore. So like everyone is taking down and basically relaxing all those measures. So when we hear about the hike again in the COVID cases, we would know is because I think we were, like you rightly said, a little too premature in that, and then especially given the fact that there was so much permission handed out left, right, and center for persons to host large events of large gatherings and so on. So very, very.
I've been to National Assembly in a little bit.
Yeah,
interesting.
But I want to note that I saw the comment that came in from someone from the UK that says the BBC reported this morning that there are 9 reported cases of monkeypox in the UK.
Wow, already.
And I just want to make this point that I was just saying that there was a case there, and that's based on the report of the BBC just hours prior. So they're saying the BBC just reported that there are 9 confirmed cases of monkeypox there in the UK right now. It just goes to show what I'm saying. Persons, the interaction.
As fast as the information can spread, like how we telling you here, is how these things are spreading, because that's how connected, by air, by sea, by land these countries are. This is a global village, and as our late great national poet says, all are involved and all are consumed. That's how it's happening. So we gotta be, and of course we take a long time here to get the advisories and that kind of stuff. It can take us 2 weeks before you hear the Ministry of Health says anything about monkeypox.
Or I think the news needs to be picking up a whole lot on this as well. I think we all need to do our part. We're out and we're speaking to people, we're providing information, and it's absolutely necessary for us to give persons a heads up. And we need to stop this reactive methodology that is employed on so many things, and we need to be proactive in safeguarding ourselves, that though we don't have to be grappling with the effects and the consequences when it is too late. But that's happening out there internationally, guys. There's a Saharan dust moving through the Caribbean. Oh Lord, it's COVID-19, it's monkeypox, it's a Saharan dust now. And if you pull up the reporting on this, you'll see it says there's some symptoms. If you find you've been coughing and sneezing and so on, it might not be the flu. It's the Saharan desert that's passing, the Saharan desert dust. The Saharan dust that's passing. You see how it starts there at the beginning of the reporting there. It says sneezing, sniffing, burning feeling in your eyes. It might be COVID, mightn't be monkeypox. But that's a little difficult for persons like myself when it comes to like the sniffling and the burning of your eyes, because I am highly sensitive, and I have some bit of dust allergy as well. So it's like, whenever I'm around any set of dust, any significant amount of dust and so forth, I would have all of those symptoms: sneezing, sniffling, burning feeling to my eyes. That's a usual for me once I'm in any environment that has dust. So you will feel like I'm crying or something like that. Nope, it's just the dust.
Yep. And
I often use it as an excuse to not do a specific set of housework.
You think it's the end time? Think it's the end time? I mean, it's monkeypox, COVID-19, PP government, sub-Saharan dust, the Saharan dust. I mean, like, what more we could check?
I think with PP government alone, we're in a bad spot.
What more we could check, But that's what's happening on that front, folks. So we got to watch that. And of course, we got some cybersecurity issues we're watching in the region as well.
Well, actually, this is quite interesting and something that I think is right up
my
alley. And
tell us.
Surprisingly, I have done no formal studies when it comes to technology. I've never done any formal studies. Well, besides doing information technology at the level of CSIC. But I've done extensive work in the field, especially, and when it comes to protecting against cyber crimes, is something that I'm particularly interested in, especially now in such the information and technological age. These are things that we need to be focused on very, very heavily. And I see here, it's taking it out to the Barbados today, going on in the region. It says protecting Caribbean organization against cyber crime. It's the leading cyber crime forum, which is called Cloud Carib, will will launch the latest in a series of educational webinars designed to help organizations in the Caribbean fill the data protection gap needed to bridge legislative realities with the ever-evolving data landscape. And I think this is absolutely necessary. And I want to say kudos to them, because this is proactive. This is proactive. And we've been speaking, I just mentioned it as a matter of fact, that we need to stop with this reactive methodology that we employ to deal with things, and we need to be proactive. Yes, we have so much integration of technology and all of that. We're on here right about now, social media. So many times persons come on and they say, their account, we read, my account has been hacked, those messages are not from me, and so forth. We have gone to a point that where more and more persons have access through the internet, and because of that, more and more persons are actually utilizing their banking through the internet. Online banking is actually growing, and all of that. And we cannot wait until there's something so catastrophic that we cannot grapple properly with the implications to actually look at methods of safeguarding ourselves as citizens of this country. When it comes to data and protecting data, we are failing miserably. I can tell you that. We have to do better. And we mention it every time we go to the Public Accounts Committee. You can't find a file, documents missing, and all of that. So we are encouraging persons to, you store stuff on your cloud. But then when you do that now, you have to be protected against cyber. You have to have cyber security mechanisms, all the firewalls and all of those things to make sure that documentation at that level is protected also. So this is a step in the right direction. Kudos to that company.
And we're doing our own little bit at this end too, because last time for those persons watching our affiliate program, we had some challenges. We were ready to come on, and then the whole system decided it was going to reboot. And the business we're in, we don't believe in coincidences at all. Right? And as a matter of fact, when we were finished, I was talking with Jurita, and my phone just rebooted also. I wasn't out of battery or anything like that. I just saw the phone shutting down and starting back.
Because we have been, and I think it's about it as is right now. We are being encouraged at so many different levels to not utilize certain apps in communication, especially when you're communicating sensitive information and stuff like that. You've been advised to go to more encrypted apps and all of those things, but it has to be a larger conversation altogether.
Definitely.
It has to be a larger conversation.
Definitely.
And persons need to be protected. It makes no sense in looking to protect ourselves if we're not trying to protect the overall citizens of your country.
And I see a lot of stuff being rolled out, but I don't see a lot of education. I see, which is a good thing. I see lots of free Wi-Fi. It's a good thing, because that started under the last administration.
Externalities that comes with that.
It's when you go and you hook up to one of these Wi-Fi's, what information is available to the government?
And every time
what's
on
the other side?
Agree. There's so many times we just go and we download something, we click agree.
And
you have to go.
You want to use the Wi-Fi so much. You're going, yes, baby, quick. You don't really nothing, right? Yes.
Agree to cookies, like. Listen, I am very skeptical when it comes to that. I don't agree to cookies, period. And there's a lot, as we're on this, I just want to put it a bit of advice to person, because I notice a lot of the persons on my Facebook have been victims of a particular crime when it comes to cybersecurity and all of that. And I would go through my messages and I would see that just there in the preview, you would see, did you see this video of yourself? And there's a link there. And the reason why I'm seeing this video, and I know for certain that is a lot of times that person did not send it to me per se. And that message would have been sent from their account to several of their friends. And it just keeps spreading, because once I now go into that and I click to see, I'm interested in what video of me, once I go in there and click, then it is sent now to my friends, and that continues and all of that. So we have to be very careful. I don't click on nothing. Don't feel no way. Sometimes you send me stuff and I don't click on it. I am very sensitive when it comes to protecting myself with cyber security and all of that. I do not just click recklessly on anything. I don't care if it says me, my father, my mother, my brother in this video. Leave it there. Pop up somewhere else.
I think it's a healthy apprehension where cybersecurity is concerned. Pushing forward, guys. Look what's happening closer to home. As man back home, right? This company ERM, the person who's in charge of Mr. Frederick Crispin, who's in charge of the gas ashore project for ExxonMobil, he says that the company who has been doing the environmental studies, the ERM, this company, don't worry with the full name now. That you want, I want to take up unnecessary brain space. They will not be conducting the next environmental study because there has been some concerns that this company, some of the persons working with this company, have worked for ExxonMobil in the past.
In the conflict of interest.
Right, and there's a conflict of interest. So this was revealed at a meeting they had with the community in Region 3 quite recently. Mr. Crispin said that this company will not be used going forward to do other environmental studies, basically. But that's what's coming out from that at that end. And you know, but there's been a lot of challenges with what's happening at ExxonMobil. A lot of challenges. And we're going to be picking up some more focus on this from our end as we go further into our foray in terms of being an oil and gas producer, because we have to keep our hands on these issues, because again, so much is happening. A lot of challenges in this area, and people don't feel that we're getting a good deal out of ExxonMobil, which concerns these contracts one, and then these studies too.
That is correct, and I think when it comes to conflict of interest, again, this is something that as Guyanese we may have gotten some bit of an immunity to it, especially when the administration that is operating currently is in office. That's how they operate. Everything is a conflict of interest. Everybody that they put there here has a question mark over their head. But when you're talking about these studies, you cannot have persons on board that is going to have a clear bias in a certain direction. It's absolutely impossible to get any balanced set of reporting coming out of the studies and data altogether. Because when you're doing studies, data can be presented that you may see as well, the study was done and this is the data. But if you have persons on board that is actually conducting the study and that is designing the system of the data collection altogether, then the data that comes out may very well be crafted in such a way to suit a specific narrative.
It's skewed,
right?
It's skewed.
And completely skewed, exactly.
Yeah. You know, and one of the issues we've been looking at in keeping with these environmental studies is the pervasiveness of the waiver of the environmental impact assessment coming out of the EPA. It seems as though the waiver is the rule and the exception is to have
a study.
The study. The exception is to have the study, right? It seems more like the rule to have this waiver, and we've been tracking some of that, and we're picking this up from our affiliate in the ring. And this is just some of the waivers that have happened over the last few months. There was the Kumu River and the Mokomoka Creek hydros. Those have been exempted from environmental impact assessments. You've had the Courtyard Marriott proposed for Tamari. The EIA has been foregone for that, right? You've had the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. You know, the Irfan says he didn't even read the study, but he knows it's going to be good for the environment. He didn't even need to read it. Right, the new Harbor Bridge, the EIA for that has been foregone. You got also the oil exploration in the Kanji block currently happening now. Right, no environmental impact assessment. Them guys say they're gonna make this thing proper when they come in. They're gonna renegotiate. They're gonna put system in place. Right, no EIA for the Kanji block. We got the oil to gas waste treatment facility that is proposed for Coverdale. They waive the EIA for that. There's a proposed Marriott for better for acting Ogle. They've waived the EIA for that. Right? Source One, oil and gas marine supplier. This is folks who are transporting, involved in the process of transporting hazardous chemical waste in our country. They waive the EIA for that. Mind you, you come into contact with this, the population, you know, could be detrimental. They waive the EIA for that. Superior Concrete Company wants to set up something here. They waive the EIA for that. You see?
Wow.
So when we say it is the rule, this is what we mean, right? There's a 12-well oil exploration going offshore the Kanji block, offshore the Kaicho block. No EIA for that. The gas to shore project. They're struggling with this, right? Everybody's proposing there must be a purpose-built feasibility study. Them boys ain't got time. And then a company called Tiger Rentals, they're proposing a waste treatment facility at Houston. They waive the EIA for that as well. And this is what Mark Berman says a couple months ago on the importance of the environmental impact assessment. He said failure to undertake this type of due diligence could result in costly, harmful effects down the road. But them boys are looking at that, Rita. Is what happens now. What could we get now, up front now? Mark Berman is the High Commissioner from Canada. Right? These people got experience in oil and gas. Right? Rowley them got experience in oil and gas. If they tell you something, you should listen. It's a failure to undertake this type of due diligence. The environmental impact assessment could result in costly and harmful effects down the road. All right.
It's quite interesting.
Very much so.
That and
very much so.
It is so necessary for us to give these reminders and structure it in that manner for persons to understand, because sometimes we may seem a little repetitive and they're waiving the EIA.
Yeah.
And persons fail to realize the amount of major projects
Yeah.
that directly
Yeah.
impact significantly onto the environment that those persons are actually waiving those EIAs for. And just in that little bit there that as caption, 11 EIAs missing. Absolutely.
And all of that work, all those projects might be good in one sense, because one of the things they're going to see come to front all the time, jobs, 50 jobs, 200 jobs, 300 jobs, and say, people can get work, so let me, don't let me do the study then.
I want to, I have a friend working, I have a few friends in the US, and one of my friends works with, like we mentioned prior, works with the city of New York, and then she was explaining to me the amount of personnel that needs to check off and give approval before different aspect of a project is actually completed. And I found it amazing that she said, even to select a specific piece of art to go in front of a building, you have this committee with experts, and they have to go through and see, and they will go through different arts until they arrive at a decision. So nothing can go far without a committee in check to do that, and every single
checks and balances is important. We have one man here, the committee name Jack Rio.
Right?
That's the committee.
In terms of the board at the roundabout, right, that would have had to gone through a process.
Yeah, couldn't pass muster.
Right? And so
couldn't put up a board in 2 days.
It would not have been that board. If it had gone through that process, but that is not the case. A lot of persons we have a system in which almost nothing is checked off, and like you rightly said, it is the out of the normal, out of the ordinary when something goes through a process. Wow, if this is going through the process, as against this being regular as it should be.
Correct. And folks, as we move forward, those of you who've been following, those of you who go to the markets, the supermarkets, the corner shops, and have businesses yourselves, you guys know that the economics here is pinching. Cost of living is high. You have what is happening internationally. You got some setbacks based on what's happening in the Ukraine. We've had some setbacks based on what is happening with COVID-19. Who knows what the future holds with monkeypox and all of that. But we have had some situations here that were man-made, right? That were created by us because of the kind of leadership we have, the kind of management that we have out there. And the cost of living, it is soaring. Cost of living is soaring. And in our segment today, what they said, we're picking up on a letter writer who clearly has some idea what he's talking about. Where he's talking about the cost of living. And one of the points he's making, folks, Michelle Tyrrell, Christie and Hazel Johnson, Donna Liverpool, Sharon Grant, Carol Rollins. One of the things he's talking about, he says, is the amount of money we're pumping into the economy. I mean, that might look good on the face of it. More money in circulation, we can make money. But that has a harmful side. I'm going to leave forward to Dorita to walk us through here. And he's saying it's the amount of money we're pumping into the economy. We don't have the capacity to absorb all of it. So we got a lot of money in the economy, and that is what is driving up the inflation. Here's some of what he says in this morning's. I think we picked this up out of Starbuck News. He says that between 2012 and 2013, the money supplied into the economy increased by $11 billion. Between 2013 and 2014, the money supplied increased by $17 billion. Between 2014 and 2015, the money supplied increased by $4 billion. In 2021, the money supplied increased by $70 billion. From March 2021 to March 2022, the money supplied increased by $65 billion. And we are yet to get to the end of 2022. The money put into the economy, the money put into the 2022 budget for spending by the government is 54% greater than it was in 2021. I can see some people saying, so what? It has an impact on the economy. He goes on. This is Starbuck News today. This is Joshua Luke writing a letter to the editor, Starbuck News today. He says, instead of preparing the country to handle the higher expenditures it had in mind, the Ali government has plunged the country into an inflationary crisis in a rush to prove that it could spend money faster than the previous administration. This is self-serving behavior and is tantamount to cruel and inhumane punishment of a people, especially civil servants, whose incomes are already insufficient to meet their everyday needs and who must depend on the whims and fancy of a merciless government for an increase.
Well, the first thing I want to point out is that, well, first of all, he's correct, and I think that it was Winston Jordan added to that conversation. I have added to that conversation, and all of that several times about the amount of money and the capacity and all of that, and the fact that everything that they're doing right now is just basically to pump money into the hands of a few, and in doing so, they're pumping money into the economy, knowing full well that the inflationary risk that they were taking would have resulted in what we're seeing here today, right now. And I want to make the point that it is good to see other persons speaking out on these matters, as this person here, Mrs. Joshua Luke.
Tell me if I have it right. The lower the level of inflation, it means the more spending power you have, the money you have in your pocket can buy more.
Correct.
The higher the inflation, you have the same money, but it's buying less in the market. And that is why people are going to the shop. You know, your customer spending, let's say, $20,000 a week or a fortnight in grocery, and you come out with 5-6 bags from the supermarket, but you're going now and you come out with 3 or 2 bags. It means you got the same money, but your purchasing power is less because the cost of goods are high in the marketplace. That's what inflation is.
But to just give it
roughly.
That's what it is. But basically, that's what inflation is, just a bit the constant increase in the price of goods and services. That's inflation altogether. However, when we speak about, and I'm glad that you're bringing it into the purchasing power altogether, because I want to remind person, a lot of times we have a lot of trolls coming online and say, oh, what did you all do when you were in office? And I like to make the comparison of, specifically when it comes to purchasing power, the fact that the coalition government kept the inflation so low at that 1%, and in one particular year actually been at a rate of 0.5%, basically almost seeing that there was no inflation.
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that.
I want to put that.
I'm happy you mentioned that. Give me a second. I'm happy you mentioned that. Because we have that data, we picked it up from our affiliate in the Ring program. We do have that data, and this is what that information looks like over an 11-year period. This is that data, and what we did, as you rightfully mentioned, this is what we did.
Did you see the 20? Because as you can see it right there, right now, the 2015 to the 2020 period altogether, and I think that reported that you think Guyana inflation rate over the past 11 years, and good. And there you're seeing it in 2021, that 5.7%.
Yeah.
I think that's a 2021 data as you're looking at it. I want to remind you that inflation rate actually went to 6.5% for the inflation rate, and I have to get a check back on what it is right now again. But I want to make the point that you see that hike there. You see that hike there from 0.9% right up to 5.7% as you're seeing it there.
Before you touch on the hike, that 0.9 means in 2020 under the previous administration. I may get it wrong. And we're talking about the reasonable man out there and how they see it. It means when you went to the shop, you could buy more with the money in your pocket.
Yes.
That's what it meant in 2020. When you go to the shop, you could buy, your purchasing power was greater.
No, but you have to look at it, and you have to look at it in totality, and that's where I was getting at just now. You had under the previous administration, you had the inflation rate being controlled. That is a controlled inflation rate that you're seeing there. You have the PPI, and that was coupled with every year public servants having an increase in wages and salaries, right?
What does the control rate means to the ordinary person? It means you can do more with your money in your pocket.
Control.
It's steady.
It's steady. Control being steady. It is not going out of control. It is not.
Prices aren't increasing.
Correct.
Here I'm scare them.
And with that, you also had an increase in wages and salaries.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it as simple as I can make it at this point, but and you had that going when the coalition was in office. So basically what it meant that your purchasing power was increasing every single year. And when your purchasing power was increasing with all together, your inflation rate being low, your standard of living was increasing. You were able to do things with your income that would elevate your standard of living every single year. Right now, what we saw since the administration took office, right? The inflation rate went up, simply meaning that the cost of goods and services has gone up. And the bulk of that inflation rate was attributed to the cost of basic food items. Let's just put that out there, because when you look at the inflation rate, it speaks, that's a holistic inflation rate that you're looking at there. Sometimes the numbers would vary based on which report you're using. You can be using half-year reports pegged, or you could use final year reports to peg what the inflation rate was. Now, I want to say that at this point in time, what we're seeing is persons are not getting an increase in their salary, plus the inflation rate is up. So what persons, the situation that is before you right now, people, is what you could have afforded to buy through that period, 2015 to 2020. Today, with all of that money that Josh Luke is speaking about being pumped into the economy, with all of that money into the economy, the ordinary Guyanese, the working class of this country, are able to buy less today
and that is why
they were able to buy between the period of 2015 to 20. That is a fact.
That is why cooking gas gone from 200 to 5,000. That's why a pound of sugar gone from $70 to 140. That's why milk gone up. That's why butter gone up in the market and all of that. But I'm happy you said that, because 2020 is interesting in that it's one of the lowest inflation rates we have recorded historically. As a matter of fact, if the notation on the graphic is correct, Starbuck News said recently, this is a time of the highest GDP of a generation. This is inflation, right? Highest in a generation. This is happening here. And so now we're seeing the projection there. If you saw it, the projection here, let me try to get it back up first. 0.9 in 2020. The projection for 2022 is 4.1. Is 4.1. So this thing is getting any better. And I want to take you here as the resident economist.
No, but I can't leave you with the projection, because I can't leave you with a projection for 2022, because I have to note that the projection for 2021, that projection, the inflation rate was way beyond that projected number. And again, and I said it in my budget presentation, that I expect again that they're not going to be able to meet that projected rate again for 2022, because they're not putting any methods and policies in place to actually tackle the real issue.
And we're with you there. We are right with you there, because our economic analysts that we use for our affiliate program in the ring, they're predicting that based on what is happening with the spending we're seeing and the inflation rate in January and February of this year, we're on target to reach what you have been predicting. The inflation rate is going to be sky high by the time we get to December. based on what we're seeing early in the
But
year
I
here.
get-
This is where we are.
You know, the funny thing is about the inflation rate and the fact that we were talking about all of
So
this,
prices will keep going up. That's what we're saying.
basically. And I also want to, you know, I spoke about this. The budget was presented. We all have the budget debate, and I spoke about this. I pinpointed it. I said the administration has been setting these targets, and they're not putting out any real policy measure that is actually going to be able to help them realize any of these targets. They've been doing quite the opposite, and that's the reality. And it's crazy because the person that responds to me, you know, that has grown fond of my name is Ashley Singh. And he fumes through the nostrils with these matters, because he basically wants to guide these people. Like when he comments and say, oh, and we are projecting that the inflation rate for 2022 is going to be 4.1. Say, yeah, you're going to bring it down. No, you have not done absolutely anything to make sure that that has been realized. And it's not okay for you to come to the National Assembly time and time again presenting policies that is only beneficial to the little group of people at the top there, you know. And I want to say also, Sherry, that is with all the discussions that we're having, with the inflation rate rising, with the fact that public servants are not seeing any real increase in their wages and salaries and all of that. In the 2020, the public service saw absolutely no increase for 2020. Then 2021, you came with this 7% that you tax the retro for, and all of that. Basically, it's going to look at like it was 3.5% for each of the years to get you to that 7%. It didn't take into consideration the amount of inflation that persons are having. So basically eliminates any real value and actually cut below. So they still would not have been able to buy on par that which they were able to purchase prior to 2020. And you want persons to salute you and give you a standing ovation. It's nonsense.
Yeah, because and lots of the commentators, guys, and the analysts on these economic issues seems to support what our resident economist, Institute of Finance, is saying, because they have said that lots of the stuff we have seen locally, for instance, they have termed it band-aids and hampers and handouts, right? Band-aids of hampers and handouts, and lots of what you see being given out here are hampers and handouts, and they're saying this don't fix that problem of inflation. What the government is trying to do is create projects to absorb some of this money they're pumping into the economy, which really truly does nothing for the people who matter the most.
No, they're making a choice that they don't care if the inflation rate goes up. Once they can get to pump money into certain the projects and so forth, and they're going to be able to say, look what we do, y'all can't roll with we, look, we do this thing here, you know. And at the end of the day, persons are starving. People cannot afford basic food items with the inflation rate.
And that's why folks say, even though you see some stuff going to region 2, some stuff going to region 5, some stuff going to region 6, some stuff going to region 7, that's not going to help the problem. What helps the problem is increase in salaries and so on.
I want to say that does not help the people. Let's not just talk about the problems, right? That does not help the people. And then wake up. You know, I am sometimes I get a little too much into this, but wake up. Region 2, wake up. Region 5, region 6, wake up. It is time you realize that persons coming to you and having promises of big projects and so forth, it does not help you on a daily basis. If you are not seeing lower inflation rate, if you are not seeing methods in place that is going to control the inflation rate locally here, then it matters not what project they bring there. If you're not seeing an increase in your salaries altogether, wages and salaries, don't worry, there's $25,000 every now and then when you think persons can't take it no more. You come and dash out the $25,000 to them. And the hinterland that they're talking about, I don't want to get to that, because what $25,000 could buy in the hinterland, it doesn't make no sense, okay? But forget about that aspect for now. These regions need to realize that unless that these representatives that many of them vote for go to them with real policy measures, come on. You are looking at the tax on labor, for example. What's up? You're in a situation right now. We have acknowledged as a people that we have more money than ever before. Come on. Why are you not looking to remove the tax from labor? That is a method that would benefit people. That is a method that would directly impact the standard of living and person's ability to elevate their standard of living. But no, you're not going to do that because that does not benefit and suit your agenda, because their agenda is trickle down economics. They know it fails, but they're going to choose to do it because it's a piece and it's a piecemeal as that is being delivered to their friends and families at the very top, and that those persons are not affected at all by the inflation cost, and that's a fact. You know, that's what it is. I don't know how else to say it.
That being said, we got to do better. Better must come. Moving on in some of the other issues. The big issue today, of course, as you guys know, there's the opening of the Agri Investment Forum and Expo, the Agri Investment Forum and Expo, and folks say it's a good initiative, but it has to. We can see the real success when we move further past the 3 day of activities into the implementation of some of these things in different CARICOM countries. Then we can know whether we are reducing our food imports by 25% by 2025, whether we can actually get to that target based on the implementation of the measures and not the amount of photographs that we have taken. But that being said, as we look at this issue, folks, we examined it yesterday morning that Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is here, Dr. Keith Rowley is here, and Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley, came yesterday, she seemed to be having a good time. Herself and Nathan Ali had a working dinner last evening at the, Grand Coastal on the East Coast. That seemed to have made some of the patrons happy. At least that seemed to have made some of the patrons happy there. So there was that working dinner. And while that was happening yesterday as well, the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerritt, arrived. And I didn't realize Roosevelt Skerritt is so tall. He reminds me of me. I didn't realize he's so tall. So the Prime Minister of Dominica arrived yesterday as well for this what is it again?
It's the Agri Expo.
Agri Investment Expo and whatever it is.
Whatever.
My Lord, have mercy.
It's the Agri Expo. That's all you need to know about it. And I think
so Roosevelt Skerritt came, and then we have also there was the Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas. He is here as well and has been meeting with officials. The Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Chester Cooper, he is here as well. So this investment expo, guys, opens today.
But what I can say about this is that if I am to have if my expectations of this particular expo is to be benchmarked against the reality and the realization that came thereafter the energy conference, and then I would say that I have a very slim expectation as to what will be realized after this expo, because it's one thing to have these forums set up and have persons all excited to be to put their product and businesses and so forth on display, but then when you don't give any real value and benefit and connectivity to those persons so as to expand and actually benefit from these forums, one would say that they just did it for a photo op. But in the interest of Guyanese and persons involved in agriculture altogether, I always hope that I'm wrong with these things. I always hope that I'm wrong and that there are real benefits that are derived from such. And I see persons coming in, but then when I saw persons come in for the International Energy Expo that we had just recently, and at the end of it, the country was yet to be told what are the benefits that Guyanese would have been able to realize and what agreements would have been signed on. So we had to be piggybacking off of information that was shared from persons visiting here when they went back to their own country. So I am hoping that there were some lessons learned from that experience and that more engagement, especially when it comes to what is communicated to the people living in Guyana after that. We would not have to beg.
But I'm happy you said that. I'm happy you said that because the organizers had said concerning the Energy Conference and Expo that they would have been publishing some of the outcomes of that conference and expo. It's months later and we're still waiting on that. Months later and we're still waiting on that. So we'd be happy to know.
I am hoping
what has transpired there.
It's different organizers and all of that. But most definitely we need to have a lot done for agriculture altogether. However, and I'm going to put this caveat there because it is all nice and dandy. It sounds all good when you're talking about adding to the regional food security and all of that. But I think that your interest must start at home first. And our local farmers and those persons need to be treated with dignity and respect, and they need to have the chunk of the investments going into their pockets. They need to stop, actually saying that you're going to buy $1 billion in fertilizer from one of your friends at the top there. I'm not going to leave that out. Actually, saying that you're going to buy $1 billion in fertilizer from one of your friends up there and distribute it through a mechanism that we know to be biased and it passes through a political filter. You really wonder who are going to be benefiting from that altogether. And small scale farmers in Guyana, I mean, a lot of work needs to be done in that regard. And I can say so many times that we have the money now. There is no excuse. You can say prior to 2015, it was not done. And all of I keep saying that this is the first time the oil revenues are being spent. This is the first administration that is spending oil revenues. And they have the money, and once directed strategically, they can realize real benefits to the Guyanese people. But the manner in which it is being directed right now, it's just that being directed to the top, a few persons, and it's not going down. It will never trickle down. So unless you put policy measures in place that is going to directly impact and benefit farmers on the ground, then you're not doing anything for them. And I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the development of the people right here. They went in there. There was a startling example, and we cannot forget it when we're having these discussions. The startling example of sugar and the fact that they went in there
make it great again.
On the promise that they're going to be expanding and doing all of this. And what did they do? What did they do? When they went in there, they went straight into the big investments. They don't give a damn about the persons there. Look at the fishermen. What are they saying to them? We're talking about these things, and it's not just cosmetics. It's not okay to just have a nice headlines and good photo. That is not the point that we're trying to get home to. If the small scale farmers, small and medium scale farmers are not seeing direct benefit from these things, then we're not doing anything as a country. And that's the bottom line.
Correct.
I have a bias, and you can say it however. I think that more voices needs to be raised when it comes to these persons, small and medium scale farmers, small and medium scale businesses altogether. And I always say on this program, I could backtrack my words and my programs to prove. I always say when I speak about the private sector and criticisms of that mechanism, I always distinguish between small and medium scale businesses, because I said they are never catered for in any one of those policy directions. None of them are ever catered for. And it's only this little group of persons at the very top that's always benefiting from whatever policy direction there is out there. And it is not okay. It's not acceptable.
Yep. So lots happening on that front, and it comes down to what Adricia has said, along with lots of the other commentators, that unless you do the work on the ground with the implementation, some of the outcomes that are going to be derived from this agri investment forum and expo, then it's just going to be just another photo up as an initiative in the region. And you can read 2 days ago the editorial out of Sabak News, and you'll see they're saying the exact same thing. Unless this is implemented, people go back home and do the hard work, right? And those folks on the ground here in Ghana actually do the hard work. It's just going to be another waste of taxpayers' money and a photo up if we don't put in the effort. So the success of it is not going to be had Saturday night when it draws to a close. It's going to be had through the hard work that is put on when the event is finished on Saturday. But I do think it's open for the public today, Twitter. Not so?
I don't think. I think tomorrow. And I think tomorrow and Saturday is going to be open for the public. But I do know that it is going to have. I do know that they're going to have the opening ceremony all together
today.
And all of that going through.
So
that is that. But it has been quite interesting, and I want to note an article before we wrap up. I want to note an article that I saw in the Guyana Chronicle. We've been saying, giving a little bit of kudos for coverage that they have been given to individuals, but on this matter of agriculture, I note an article today that they're carrying about the Linden youth who is pushing for a more soil-less farming, right? And that person is Winston Bryan, is a Kamako, and he's the owner of Aqua Greens, right? and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing a good feature and all of that for this young man. But when I speak about the direction in which policy needs to be designed, it's to help persons like him. This young man who is trying to be innovative in his own right out there in Linden. What are, besides having this article out, besides pushing, what direct policy measure is going to be put in place to allow him to grow his
to give him a
business,
fighting chance,
to give him that,
to give him a fighting chance,
to give him the equity, and this is the difference between equality and equity, to give him an equitable opportunity to benefit from all of that is going on at this expo today. And that is where I want to end that conversation.
So happy that so many of you joined us this morning. Pamela Dover and Edward Brooms joined us. Maureen Williams joined us. Pamela Dover, Claire Capel, Commissioner Cole. I saw your comment there about the land being set aside. Michael Gittins, we thank you for your comments too. Natalia Odwin is here too, guys. We're so happy that hundreds of you have joined our broadcast this morning. FYI, make the shares look good, folks. Share the broadcast so that others get valid and credible information as well, just like you did this morning. We hope that is why, if that's a symbol of why you guys are stuck around this long. We're a little bit into the overtime. Nonetheless, we out here, we outside. Alex Thompson, good to see you. And Basil Clark, good to see you. Beatrice Selby, good to see you as well. Osmond Hart, Magna Barrow here too.
Yeah, I see Magnell is asked, if the opposition was invited. I have to say that at the last National Assembly, invitations were circulated for persons, and I know that opposition members of parliament, I know some of them that is going to be there, of course, because once invited, we always have representation. Always. So don't let nobody say otherwise, right?
Good.
So
good. We're going to see you at 12, folks, for our podcast, Below the Belt, and then we're back at 8 this evening. When you ring again, thanks for joining us. Each and every one of you guys, it goes without saying, we can't do this without you, but I can say we can't do this without you. All of the research we put into these programs, all the information, it takes something to do that. Keep the lights on and the doors open.
I see Deborah. Hey, Deborah.
Yeah. You guys know we got PayPal, we got Zelle, we got Cash App, we got MMG. We got MoneyGram, available by MoneyGram Western Union as well, guys. You want to know how you can contribute, and we hope that you guys do that because we're running up to month end, and we got to pick up the pace at our end too. We got our monthly responsibilities to keep all this going, and how we keep it going, guys. We're fully public funded, and we love that. We can talk the things, it enables us to do that. Fully public funded by you guys, and we encourage more of you to come on board and to partner with us, so we can keep this going and keep it growing, keep you guys getting valid and credible information always. That's our time.
That is our time this morning, guys. But again, I want to just re-emphasize what Shirley is saying, that we have so much to get done. I see Marlon is saying she's going to be joining all 3 programs today.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that support.
Good for Marlon there, but make sure that the information that we bring, I think we have our own unique style. Any information that is packaged in the mornings, I encourage you to continue to share so other persons can benefit from the information. Absolutely necessary that you do that as well. When it comes to the contributions, I know persons have been everyone that has contributed, every dollar has been counted, and it has been able to make a major difference in making sure that all the programs can come to you on a daily basis. So we thank you for your support, and we encourage you to continue to pledge support in that method. And I want to say that we have been designing a little bit more of a surprise, a little bit more surprises for you guys, and as you contribute, you will be able to
keep tweaking. Yeah, we're telling them just yesterday morning, we're chasing down a particular piece of equipment. And guys, we really encourage you to support our program financially so that we can do the things we have to do to keep our game, to keep our game up. To keep on a certain level. We want to make it as professional as we can for your benefit. We believe that you guys deserve nothing but the best, and we want to keep upping our game all the time. So we're chasing that.
I think a good way to put it over is that if we look at the budgetary allocation to state media as opposed to the quality and the amount of information that is delivered, you would understand the absolute need for support in that method.
So make us look good with the shares, folks. Share the broadcast before you go. Hundreds of you still watching. Share the broadcast. Smash that emoji button for us before you go. and also partner with us. Oh, partner with me.
Candy has an interesting comment.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
read Candy's
Candy
comment.
says, "Oops, I now reach people. Can you late? All right, you gotta watch the broadcast."
Kenny is not just late.
Yeah.
Kenny is extremely
Yeah,
late. It's
yeah.
a late, but still, Kenny, we
Yeah.
are
Happy
wrapping
you
up.
were here. Happy
You
you're
are
here.
literally in the last couple of seconds of the broadcast, as you know it right now. So you particularly will have to share to make sure and go back and look at the program from start
Yeah.
to end. But we're glad you caught it before we actually came off altogether.
Have a good day.
All right. So I see.
Stay safe.
Hazel is saying you can't learn an empty stomach. And
It's
all of
true.
those
It's
things.
true.
Let
It's true.
some
It's true.
persons-
It's true.
persons understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Warnella Garnett, thank you so much,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of you, for joining.
Yeah.
Have a awesome day, and we'll see you back in the morning.
Stay
I
safe,
will
guys.